In this episode, we're going to be talking to a gentleman who has created a amazing all-in-one unlimited tool. It's called Hollerbox, and Chris Thomas is here with us, and we can't wait for you to hear some of the amazing things that this tool can do as we get into the podcast. Let's get started. So welcome, Chris, man. It's great to have you. Thank you for jumping in on this podcast. I'm so excited to talk to you about this tool that I understand that you've built, and I think our listeners is going to be super thrilled to know that there's something out there that can help them to navigate the waters of digital marketing. So how are you, buddy?
Oh, doing great. Thanks for having me on. I really appreciate it.
Awesome, man. So we want to start with just tell us about you. Tell us who you are and what you do.
Yeah, so I run Yonder Agency here in Canton, Georgia, and really our focus is to help really businesses grow online. And we also have a software that we give our clients, and it's called Hollerbox. So it's been an interesting couple of months to have an agency and software at the same time. So juggling that, and I grew up the road, just up the road in Blue Ridge, Georgia, and moved to the big city. And I've just been in corporate world for a while and got tired of wearing a suit and looking like a used car salesman, a bad used car salesman at that, and decided to start my own agency. And probably started my own agency in the worst year of the history of our world. But hey, that's how it happens, right?
Yeah.
We're still around.
Oh, cool. That's amazing. So you basically started out, and obviously this worst period is a pandemic. It's COVID. So you started out during this period right here.
Yeah, so September 2019, Yonder was around, but I didn't market it. I didn't tell anybody about it. I was still
Yeah.
in my basement. And now fast forward to like January, because I was like, I'll have this big, release and talk about Yonder and why we exist. And so we actually pushed to February. Well, then February we launched, and then like 4 weeks later, it's like, well, wait a minute, hold on. And so yeah, it was kind of like, okay, cool, we'll just wait and see. And then oddly enough, 441 Barbecue became our first Yonder client. I had clients before, but so we just started one, and now we're slowly growing. I think we have 12 or 15 clients right now, just kind of
Awesome.
locally and spread across the United States. So I joke around that we started an agency at the worst time, but it was kind of good. People were like, "Oh yeah, I guess digital marketing is a thing, and we need to do it."
Yeah, sweet. Now listen, man, this is, and I think you started in the best time, even though it might seem to be the worst time, because there's so many people that runs businesses that are looking for an opportunity to bridge the gap that they experience with how do you transition from where you are now that COVID hit you to digital. Like, so everybody was sort of looking
Yeah.
for a digital ship to jump on. It's almost kind of like a movie, right? And so
Oh yeah.
you just had to sort of be there to give them a hand up. So I think you started at a really great time to be able to help a lot of these businesses who are struggling. I wanted to ask you though, talk to me a little bit about how you actually got to this point, from a marketing perspective. So I know you said you worked in corporate, the suit and all that stuff.
Yeah.
How you got to where you are today?
Yeah. So I had a little bit of a different, I guess, up to this point. So it's
Right.
kind of I actually started in corporate. The
Yeah.
market crashed, and I went into Church World, a nonprofit, and was a creative director and of like a 15,000 person church. And so I was talking to a friend of mine the other day that grew up in Queens, New York, and I was telling him about that of like 15,000 people. He's like, oh man, that's like the garden. Like and he's like, that's
Yeah.
so big. And I was like, well, imagine, from the car door to the church seat, how to get your kids to the right place and how to figure out what's going on, because it was a
Wow.
huge campus. And so I left there and went into the corporate world just because I got addicted to user experience design.
Yeah.
I had an agency reach out to me while I was at the church, and they said, "Look, we want you to come work for us and do prototypes." And I'm like, "I don't even know what a prototype means, but sure, that sounds great." And so yeah, my first prototype was with the very first touchscreen banking app from Wachovia.
Oh,
And
cool.
yeah, it was very cool. And so like I got really the bug to be able to see somebody use the product that you make
Yeah.
and then be able to evaluate and go, oh, I need to adjust. And so at that time, like all of a sudden I found myself working with Nike and Callaway Golf and Weber and all this kind of stuff inside this corporation. And helping Nike figure out their e-commerce of like, how do people use the reward points to purchase and all this kind
Yeah.
of stuff. And it just seems so easy now, right? Everybody's like, oh, that doesn't sound big at all. But and so yeah, I've had the very fortunate career path to be able to really just be a fly on the wall and learn from the best. And I still don't consider myself a very good designer. But a lot of folks disagree with me, and I'm like, look, I've seen good designers. I just make it clean and usable and clear over cute. That's literally what I do. And so yeah, I mean, fast forward to now, it's you know, 2019 was a good year, and I was trying to figure out, okay, do I start an agency or just be a freelancer? And the word freelancer to me, it was just like, okay, well, I'm never going to get out of my basement. I'm never going to, you know, uh, have like a real, like people look at me and go, what's a freelancer mean? That kind of stuff. Now it's kind of a big thing. Everybody's like, oh yeah, I'm
Yeah.
freelance. I'm like, what? I was like,
Yeah.
y'all are making fun of me like 2 years ago. And so basically just decided to say, I want to jump back into the local market and go back to the small town, because the strategies we used in the big corporate, from Regions Bank to Nike to, all these things, the strategies we used then can be used on the local level.
Yeah.
With Facebook ads, Google ads, SEO, all those things. And I was very fortunate to play on both sides, both the product side and the marketing side, because nobody really knew how to make them come together, where it's like, well, how do we get this and how do we get that? And I'm like, well, this, and it's a sales funnel, and it's
Yeah.
this. And um, but yeah, and so when I started the agency, I was helping a couple of folks, and I was like, man, this is what I want to do. I was like, there's a little bit less stress, because we're using strategies that I've known for years.
Yeah.
But the stressful part is getting the client to understand that it takes some time to get leads in or get new clients. And but the clients that are patient, they're getting the clients, right? They're getting the new leads and all
Yeah.
that. So I love it. I feel like I don't work. Like I just feel like I get to hang out with incredible people and help their business grow.
That's an amazing place to be, man. So, and you talked earlier about creation and just sort of that fascination around, or that thrill around creating something and seeing how people then adapt and use it. And so, we're talking about this tool that you have created yourself recently. Tell us about this tool, Hollerbox, what it
Yep.
is, and uh, basically just allow our listeners to understand what is Holler box?
Yeah, absolutely. So about 18 months ago, really when Yonder was starting, I've
Yeah.
always had this idea of like over the last year, learning all these other softwares, and they're great softwares, right? I mean, HubSpot is great, Salesforce is great, MailChimp, they're all great. But when you get down to it from a business owner level, no matter if you're local or medium or large, right?
Yeah.
They all have to work together, right? And so recently, and really in the last 2 months, to be very transparent, I found a framework that worked, and I realized, wait a minute, we can take this API, we can take this API, and then we can set sequences or triggers to make them all work together. And it just made sense. And so after kind of refining and making sure I'm learning the right thing and making sure like, okay, are people going to understand this? And so Hollerbox is literally one platform with all your tools in one place.
Sweet.
And the reason why it's called Hollerbox is, I'm Southern, so we say holler all the time.
Right.
And then box, because it's really just in your toolbox, right? You don't, everybody's like, oh, you got to do this, you got to do that. And so Yonder exists to help local businesses, and we do it for you, but Hollerbox, you can do it yourself, right?
Cool.
And so we want to empower local businesses to do it on their own. So you and I both know, like when you hear a business and you go, hey, you need to set up a sales funnel, they have no idea what that means.
Yeah.
And so we come alongside of them and go, hey, here's what a campaign looks like. Here's what a trigger looks like. Here's what a form looks like. Do you have a PDF that people can download? And it's those things that we help our customers go, no, I don't have that. No, I don't have that. And it's like, okay, let us create it for you. And then we set it and forget it and we walk away. And so really, we're very excited about it. It's going to continue to grow. We have a chat bot inside. We have calendar booking inside. You can even build all your emails just like you do on your other platform. And but the problem with all the other platforms is getting it connected.
Yeah.
Where with Hollerbox, you don't have to. You use one place, one tool, and it all connects together, and you can see it, right? So, for your audience, if they're going, okay, I don't know what he's saying, I don't know what he's talking about, but so basically, think about it this way: you have a offer, right? Let's say that you specialize in hot water heaters, right?
Yeah.
You send out a tip of like 5 ways to do, to check your hot water heater or whatever. That's a free download PDF, right? And so you have to have a place for that to go. And so you put a form on your website, and then all of a sudden that starts your sales funnel. And a lot of people go, oh, it's that easy. And I'm like, yeah, it is that. I mean, you're offering something for free. They're going to give you your email address. I could
That's
geek out
pretty
about
cool.
this all day.
That's pretty cool. It is, so it sounds like now, so Hollerbox is this sort of all-in-one tools in a box sort of space that you can then just don't worry about anything else anywhere. You just get to Hollerbox and you can get everything set up from your offer to analytics, everything that you need to understand if this is working or not. But not just that, but also to get you that, we call it cha-ching, or that big numbers coming through, ringing on your POS or
Yeah.
in your bank account, right?
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. So who is this? Because I know that we, our listeners, are non-tech savvy. They're very aware that these are some of the things that they need. Like when we ask them questions, they'll say, "No, I've heard about that, but I've always wondered what that is, or how do we need to implement
Yeah.
that." So who is this tool for? Like who's it that your Hollerbox is targeting, or you're targeting as users for Hollerbox?
To be honest, it's literally for everybody. If you run a business, you can use Hollerbox.
Yeah.
We even have integrations to payments, so you can set up a Stripe account and send a client the form. They can pay for it right there, right?
Nice.
So it's literally for everybody that runs a business that has customers, they have to put through a sales process or, CRM. And so basically you have your CRM and you know where they are on the pipeline. And so we're talking to people that have 6,000 users to 3 users, right?
Yeah.
And it's funny how it's like, well, it's pretty much the same thing across the board. It's like, okay, you need an offer. Okay, you need an email sequence. Okay, you need this. And so, so it's really just for everybody because, and now we have different price points because there's different features and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, anybody can use it. I was talking to somebody the other day and they're like, can a startup use it? And I'm like, yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's actually perfect because you don't have to, you literally start with Hollerbox and you don't have to go to this tool, this tool, this tool. And all of a sudden you have $2,000 worth of subscriptions because somebody else said, oh, you should use this tool. You should use this one. And it's like, well, no, Hollerbox, we start at $4.97 a month, right? And people are just like, wait a minute. So if I add up all these tools, it's still cheaper than that. I'm like, yep, let's do it. So
Nice.
And that's really how we kind of look at it, is it's really for everybody. Now there's people that are going to disagree and go, well, you need to niche down. But I'm not a big believer in that. I kind of get bored from, I'm not going to say we're just for med spas or we're just for barbecue restaurants or whatever. We're literally for everybody.
Nice. And I like that because whether you are starting out or you have started or you're expanding, like you have a place that you can call home to really help you to navigate your way, because we're all on a journey, right? We just have different starting points or different milestones that we need to then achieve and continue our journey. So I really like that. And it doesn't matter if you are a non-tech savvy doctor or you are a non-tech savvy attorney or you are a non-tech savvy business coach or a consultant, or even if you own a restaurant or you have a little chain that's going on, like you could literally just then jump into Hollerbox and start your journey from there. That's pretty cool. I really like that. Usually my next question is, how is this then different? How is this tool different from the alternative? Because there are alternatives out there, right? So how is it different from what somebody else is using today?
Yeah. So the one thing that is dramatically different is the tool that you go with doesn't automatic. So let's say that you need a calendar tool.
Yeah.
And when somebody books a calendar invite, you want to send them an automatic email of like, hey, we confirmed it or whatever with more details. Or and so the thing is like, I want to put that on my website. I want to put that calendar on my website. How do I do that? And so people just kind of get all kind of flustered and they're like, oh, where's the code, this and that. And so what makes us different is we walk folks through the process of how to do it. I think there's a lot of good tools out there, but the problem is, you pay the $199 a month or $50 a month. And it's like, okay, well, here's the tool, go use it. Here's some videos or whatever. What makes us different is we kind of guide you through the process. And you can pay these other tools to guide you through the process. But then if you're a startup or you don't have time to go, well, do I pay $1,000 for this or do I pay this or that? It's really tough.
This podcast is sponsored by MeisterTask, the most intuitive task manager on the web. MeisterTask is an easy-to-use project management tool. Makes it easy and fun and colorful to get all your projects managed in one place. As an entrepreneur, I use MeisterTask to help me manage all of my projects. I can drag and drop different tasks. I can assign key people to the task. I can set deadlines and schedules and enjoy just beautiful colors while I do that. So if you are interested in trying MeisterTask, go to meistertask.com/DMT tools. That's meistertask.com/DMT tools. And you can sign up for a free trial when you upgrade to the Pro plan. So get started for free today, and invite your team members and get productive together. It's pretty cool. I do like that because it's like this guided experience, right? That you feel like someone is there with you. Because you and I know a lot of the tools that are out there, like you can't even talk to anybody. Like you have to spend days trying to figure it out on your own. Like you don't have an opportunity to say, you know what, I want to talk to someone. Nobody's there to say, hey, let me know if you need any help as you're making your way. And it feels like, man, I'm in the struggle all by myself, right? So what you're basically saying, what I'm hearing you say is that your tool allows this guided experience. Like if you're in this tool, you're not going to be ever feeling like you're alone in this sort of wilderness and trying to like frustrate yourself even further. This is about helping you to be a better version of who you are before you actually went in this tool, right? That's pretty awesome.
That's it.
That's pretty awesome.
That's it.
So tell us about some of the other things that we can actually do with this tool. I know you talk about, the offer. I know you talk about just the analytics and the payments. Are there any other things that we can do with this tool?
Yeah, so we're constantly looking at what other marketing strategies are out there. And so Google is putting a lot of emphasis on chat inside of Google. So they're opening up a chat widget inside of Google My Business. Well, Hollerbox connects to that starting next month.
Nice.
So let's say that you're a plumber, you're a lawyer, you're whatever, you say lawyer near me or plumber near me, right? Instead of just a phone call and a website, because one, you may not be in a place to do a phone call, and two, okay, I got to go to the website. If it's a bad website experience, then they're just going to go to the next one, and then the next one and next one. So imagine a business having a chat bubble on Google My Business where they can tap and go, hey, I need a plumber. It goes to that plumber and they go, hey, yeah, what's the problem? It's like, oh, my pipe burst. Here's a photo of it. And all of a sudden they're interacting, and they already have the thing booked by the time the other person is going, well, I have a pipe burst. Do they know how to fix it? Do they know how to fix it? It's a little bit quicker. So we will have chat starting next month through Google My Business. We do text messaging, emails, of course. That's the other thing too. If you don't want to have your personal number, you got to go out and get another number. You got to figure out how to integrate it into your system and do messaging, right? The other thing that we do is a pipeline. So if you have different pipelines for different offers or different sales processes, we allow you to change those kinds of things. The other thing that we do, there's a lot of companies out there that do it, and it gets kind of confusing because if you leave that company, you don't get to keep the stuff that you have, like reviews. So there's review aggregators out there that you build all these reviews, and if you leave, you don't get to keep them. Well, with us, you get to keep them. So you can actually interact with your reviews inside of Hollerbox and respond to them inside of Hollerbox. And the other great thing is when you get a new review, we can automatically send it to your website and potential customers see that new review. The other thing it does, we can actually build funnel pages and we can build landing pages inside of it. And the biggest thing, and this is a trend as well, is people are wanting to give away other knowledge-based things and sell courses. And so we have a membership platform to where if you have a 10-step course, you can build it inside of Hollerbox, and it's all on the tool, and you can sell it inside Hollerbox as well. So Yeah, so we're trying to get after a couple of different markets. Not everybody's going to need all the stuff that I've mentioned, but
Yeah.
they should be using it because it's different avenues to grow their business.
Wow. I mean, and it sounds like you've thought about the whole customer journey, which is pretty cool because then you have, and you know, we're gonna get to this point where you talk a little bit around the cost, but it sounds like man, like
Sure.
this saves you so much time and energy and money. If you were to sort of just get a tool for all of those things you talk about, you probably wouldn't
Yeah.
have a bank account, right? Because then it would just drain you all the time. But then you're actually packaging all of this in one single space. And that's the thing. I think a lot of our listeners can appreciate that. Like you're busy building your own business and you are running around doing a ton of different things that only you can do. And what you don't want is to then learn a bunch of other tools that you have to get used to and you have to get familiar with and go through that curve. Everything has a curve, right? And so if you
Oh
have
yeah.
the ability to then just use one tool that solves as many of the problems that you're trying to solve or just the challenges that you're trying to deal with in marketing, that should really
Yep.
save you a bunch of time and also saves you a couple dollars. So that's pretty awesome. Now let me there's another question I have for you too around integration, because it sounds like you're
Sure.
integrating a lot of a lot of different tools with this, and so there's no doubt that can actually happen. If there is a tool that I'm using that you don't necessarily have integrated already, like can I go ahead and integrate that? Does your tool allow us to integrate some other tool that we might have?
Yeah. So the great thing is we have our own APIs. So if you use, everybody loves Zapier. So if you don't know what Zapier is, it's basically connecting all these tools together to talk to your tools, right? And so we have a Zap that comes in. We also have an API. So we were talking to a team. They have 6,000 employees, and they're using a platform. I won't say who it is because
Yeah.
I feel bad when I. So anyway, they spent $300,000 to implement this tool,
Wow.
and the CEO was looking me in the face, and they go, "Yeah, but we don't use it. We spent all this money, we don't use it, and when we try to, it's kind of confusing." And so they haven't signed up yet, but once we showed them the tool of like, hey, you can actually do a handoff, right? So Hollerbox is your front end sales, right? Your prospecting, your lead generation, all that kind of stuff. And when they're a customer, we'll just do the handoff to that other program so you're not wasting it.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, that's a great idea. And I said, well, yeah, just talk to that software company and say, hey, look, you're not fulfilling our needs, but we'll still keep you for this because we need it for that. And so, yeah, as far as integrations go, um, in code, we kind of don't like to say the word no, but with code, anything's possible, right?
Right. Right.
Anything could connect together or whatever. But yeah, so we do integrate with other tools, and we play nice with everybody else. And we're working. Matter of fact, today I had an executive coach. She was like, I want to be able to send a contract to my client, and I want them to do payment. But the thing is, all the payments are different. And I was like, okay, cool. Well, we'll just connect to your PandaDoc, and you send the contract, and then it's all automated. And she's like, there's
Nice.
that, so I'm like, yeah, it's just like that. That's it. So
Nice.
it's a fun tool to play with.
Nice. Nice. And so that's awesome, man. Now, if people are interested in this tool, anyone listening interested in this tool, what is it that they need to do to get to it? Because I know you said you have a charge every month. Is there do you pay when you get started? Is there a trial? Like, talk to me around that sort of pricing model.
Yeah, so we thought about doing the trial, but the problem is it so we're still discussing the trial, because the thing is, when we're sitting down, we're spending hours learning your business, right?
Right.
And if we tell you everything that needs to fit together, well, we're spending a lot of hours, and then all of a sudden you go, I don't want to use it, or I'm not into it. So the thing is people are going to go, well, it's $500. Like, I got to pay that. I'm like, well, if you're trying to grow your business, you need to feel it, right? Because somebody asked me the other day, they're like, well, is there a lower price? Is there this? Is there that? The problem is, your marketing is only going to be as much as you put into it, financially and time wise, right?
Yeah.
It shouldn't be on Hollerbox to spend all the time marketing your business. You should know your sales process. You should know your audience, all that kind of stuff. Now, we work with you to figure that out, but you should at least know the simple, things. So when it comes to the $497 down, if you're not happy within 30 days, which I don't, we haven't experienced yet, you get your money back, and, with a valid reason, right? Because if we see leads come in and you're using it and all this kind of stuff, we're like, well, so tell us what's wrong with the tool, right?
Right.
But if somebody's just saying, oh, I don't get it, right? So the reason why we don't do the trial right now is we are doing that personalized experience. But you do get the tool, and you get to literally build your business off that one tool. And so it takes a lot to unravel that, because when you sign up with us, you get a phone number, you get your domain connected, you get an email service, all that kind of stuff. So, yeah. So to simplify it, there isn't a trial, but we do set it up for you, and it's unlimited too. Like, once you get into the tool, you can do unlimited campaigns, you can do unlimited text messaging, all those things. There's no limit to it. And yeah, really, we haven't found a way that you can break it yet.
Nice. So it's all in one, and it's unlimited. And so I mean, that's definitely worth just putting your hat in the ring. Like, if you want to 3x, 10x, 20x your growth as a business owner, or as a startup, as an entrepreneur, like, you have to have some skin in the game. So it's not always that you can sort of get it for free, because, like, the truth is, so here it is that your tool offers even a guarantee. Like, what better way can you then just validate, like, hey, pay for the tool, jump in there. If it doesn't do anything for you, like Hollerbox rather, is going to give you your money back, right? And so this is pretty cool. But think about what you're getting. You're getting this all in one, and you're also getting this unlimited. That's a nice little stretch you have to then jumping on this tool and just have some fun with it. But at the end of the day, it's working for you. So that's pretty cool, man. So I know that, staying in business and just kind of getting in business is not easy. And so, how have you done it? And really, what would you say is the best thing so far that you have experienced?
Yeah. Somebody asked me this a couple months ago. It's honestly going to the business, right? Now, we haven't run any ads for Yonder. We've run some for Hollerbox, and well, a little free advice. Facebook just changed their algorithm and how they do ads and all that kind of stuff. So we're like, let's just pull this off. So realistically, it's basically having good clients and doing good work for your current clients, and then them telling everybody else. I have one client that has referred me to 3 people, and I was like, well, this is awesome. And I even, when you do good work, like this one client that I have told another referral, that referral hasn't even called me yet. That referral was so impressed with what he said, he referred me to another business and said, hey, I'm calling these guys, but you need to call them too. Yeah. And yeah, I mean, it's unreal. if you look somebody in the face and you shake their hand, or, well, fist bump with COVID, but look them in the face, do what you're going to do, and your business will start to, people will start to hear about it. Now, I don't win every single time. I mean, I wish I could say that we make people wildly successful and everything else. Marketing is not simple or easy.
Yeah.
I just said it. I just said it out loud so everybody could hear it.
You're right. Absolutely.
The ones that tell you that it's simple or easy, it is to a certain extent when you know who you are as a business.
Yeah.
But it's hard work to get to the point where you're sitting in a room and your phone goes off and it says you have a lead, right?
Yeah.
I'll give you a perfect example. As we're sitting here, I got 2 leads for Hollerbox right on my phone, right?
Yeah.
That's when you start going, oh, well, marketing is easy. But look, it took a lot of hard work for me to go, okay, I'm gonna set up this funnel, this funnel, this funnel. Once they get through this campaign, I'm going to get a text message that says you have a lead, right?
Nice.
I mean, that sounds easy, but it took a lot of setup. And so I would say with finding new clients, know who your audience is. If your audience is everybody, then okay, cool. Let's start with the smallest audience first, right? That's what we're doing as Hollerbox, right? We are for everybody, but we're going to help the service industry first, right? So if you book a call or if you need a lead or any of that kind of stuff. And if you're a coffee shop or a baker or a barbecue restaurant, I'm naming restaurants, I must be hungry. A plumber, lawyer, financial advisor, look at your marketing and go, okay, how can I get my name out there quicker? And how can I get people to realize that I'm going to help them with their life, right? And that's probably how I stay in business, is just constantly networking and educating people on what we do. I mean, matter of fact, in April, we're coming out with Yonder courses to teach you the basics of marketing. Before you even call us or before you even use Hollerbox, you can pay for our courses and you don't even have to use us. You could do it on your own. And so that's really how we're staying in business, is we just keep educating folks, and eventually they come back and go, I don't really want to do this. I trust you to do it, and just do it for me.
Nice. And this is the education that we're bringing to our listeners, just the continuous value that we can add through education. And so we're really excited that you took your time to just share with us about the Hollerbox. So Hollerbox is HOLLERBOX, right? That's it,
Yep.
correct? So people can go to hollerbox.com, HOLLERBOX.com, and you can sign up and you can give this box a shot. I mean, listen, like that works out within 30 days. That's literally less than what? That's less than like $2 a day for you to then essentially, it's $20, right? Less than $20 a day, give or take, that you'd be then investing right into your entire sort of marketing. That's pretty amazing. Chris, is there anything that I didn't ask you that you'd like to share today?
No, I think you covered it. If folks are looking for a digital marketing service, we are Yonder Agency. When I say we're full service, people just glaze over, but from your website to video marketing to social and brand awareness, we can help you with that. Hollerbox is a do-it-yourself, but we're also combining Yonder and Hollerbox, so we can literally set up everything and it's inside a Hollerbox, and so you get best of both worlds. And then the courses that are coming out, and we just released a podcast. It's definitely not as polished as yours. It's called the Yonder Land, and if you're looking for it, you'll see a Bigfoot as our image. That's the, I guess my spirit animal or whatever I look most like. But yeah, so we're kind of, and if you're looking for us on social, it's Yonder Agency, and on LinkedIn, Hollerbox and Yonder Agency.
Nice, sweet, man. Right, look, man, I really appreciate that. Amazing that you also have a podcast. You can go to the podcast and look for the podcast Yonder. What's the podcast again? Just so we can repeat it to listeners.
Yeah, it's the Yonderland podcast.
Yonderland podcast. And folks, don't forget to check out the Hollerbox. We'd love to hear your feedback and on how that actually works for you. HOLLERBOX.com. And also, if you want to get in touch with Chris, you can find Chris Yonder Agency is yonderagency.com, right?
Yep.
And I don't know if you want to share, if you want to drop an email if you'd like, or some other place. I know you're on LinkedIn and you're all over social media. Just you look for Yonder Agency, you look for Hollerbox. Yep. You're gonna definitely run into Chris. If you're on the podcast world, you go to Yonderland, you will find him. I mean, he is in the space. That's what he does. So ain't no hiding for Chris at all. So, but if you wanted to leave an email or something, you're free to do that. So just kind of wrap up.
Yep. Yeah, you can email us at holler@yonderagency.com.
Awesome. You need to holler at Chris, guys, and holler at the, just jump in that box. And that's definitely, I would recommend that box, because I think, like, listen, man, the carpenter has his box and the plumber has his box. All these guys have their box, and you got to have your box. And this is going to be where you have all the tools that you need to succeed. And trust me, take it from us. Like, we've spent a lot of years in this kind of space. And if we say that it's going to be this, then this is what it's going to be. You need that space that's all in one for you to have as much fun as possible, but be as successful as you could and as you can be, using space and time, saving yourself time and saving yourself energy, saving yourself money. So thank you, Chris. I appreciate you jumping on such a short notice, but I appreciate that, and looking forward to connecting soon again and in the future. We'd love to hear more about Hollerbox, and we'll stay in touch and see how things are progressing for you guys.
Sounds great. Thanks for having me on.
Awesome. That was Chris Thomas, the creator of Hollerbox and Yonder Agency. We hope you enjoyed this session today, and we hope you had a lot of takeaway from this amazing tool. Don't forget, guys, to follow us, subscribe to our podcast anywhere you listen to your podcast. Don't forget to share this and leave a review and rate us. We're excited to hear from you, and let us know if we're adding value to what you're hearing. So until next time, we'll see you in another episode. Find a tool to help you rule your growth.